All right, so welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at something a little different.
Okay.
It's this YouTube video that one of you sent us, and the title is really interesting.
Yeah.
I got rid of almost everything.
Mm.
It's about this woman, Emma,
Mm-hmm.
who loves fashion, but then decides to get rid of like
Right.
95% of her clothes. So we're going to deep dive into this video and
Right.
see what's going on, try to understand her journey, and hopefully, I'll learn something from it.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I mean, this whole idea really speaks to the whole fast fashion culture,
Right.
Like it's everywhere you look, this constant pressure to buy new clothes
That's it.
and keep up with all the trends, you know what I mean? And then you feel like you need to have this endless variety of outfits.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's overwhelming for sure.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Emma talks about at the beginning of the video.
Mhm.
She's like, I was obsessed with buying clothes.
Yeah.
I thought having a closet packed with clothes would make me stylish and happy.
Mm-hmm.
But then she realized that it totally backfired.
Interesting.
So,
That makes sense. I mean, I think a lot of people fall into that trap,
yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
you think more is better, but then you end up with decision fatigue,
Oh.
you know?
So is that what you think was going on with her?
Possibly. Like our brains can only handle so many choices.
Right.
And when we have too many options, it can actually lead to stress and anxiety. And ironically, less satisfaction, even with things we enjoy, like clothes.
Wow. Yeah. I've definitely felt that. Like when you have a closet full of clothes, but you still feel like you have nothing to wear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, how did she break free from that cycle?
So in the video, she has this aha moment where she realizes she was just making space for more clothes
Mm.
instead of building a wardrobe that actually worked for her,
Right.
And that's when she decides to purge
Oh.
95% of her wardrobe.
Whoa. How'd you even decide what to get rid of?
Well, she brought in a friend to help her make some tough decisions
Ah, good idea.
and let go of sentimental attachments, which I bet was hard.
Yeah, I can imagine. Sentimental attachments are tough. It's like
Yeah.
sometimes we hold on to things even though we don't really use them or need them anymore?
For sure. And the video actually shows her going through piles and piles of clothes.
Wow.
Like, it's pretty amazing to see how much stuff she had accumulated.
Yeah.
What's really interesting is how she talks about decluttering as not just about
Hmm.
getting rid of physical items, but also creating mental space.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. When you get rid of clutter, you're not just cleaning up your physical environment, you're also freeing up mental energy,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
It's like it reduces stress and makes you feel lighter, you know?
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
So what was left in Emma's wardrobe after getting rid of all that stuff?
Well, this is where the idea of a capsule wardrobe comes in, and
Okay.
it's all about curating a collection of high-quality, versatile pieces that can be mixed and matched.
Okay, so not just having less clothing, but choosing things strategically.
Right. Exactly. Like less but better, right?
Right. Okay. So how did she go about doing that?
Well, that's what we're going to dig into next.
Okay, great. Okay, so a capsule wardrobe. I'm definitely intrigued. Before we get into the details of Emma's capsule wardrobe, though, I kind of want to go back to that whole fast fashion thing we were talking about.
Sure.
Like, what is it about fast fashion that makes us feel like we need to keep buying new clothes, even when we don't really need them?
Well, it's a whole bunch of things, but I think social media plays a huge role, right?
Right.
Like we're constantly bombarded with images of people wearing the latest trends,
Yeah.
and it creates this pressure to keep up,
Yeah.
to fit in, to look a certain way.
Oh, totally. Like
Yeah.
you need a new outfit for every selfie, every occasion.
Exactly. And then the fashion industry itself is kind of designed to fuel this whole cycle, right? Like
Ah.
trends change so quickly, and clothes are often made cheaply
Right.
and not meant to last very long. So we're encouraged to just keep buying more and more.
It's like we've been trained to think of clothing as disposable.
Yeah, kind of. Instead of like investing in pieces that we love and that will last a long time.
Right.
And that's where the whole idea of mindful consumption comes in, which is becoming a bigger and bigger deal.
Mindful consumption.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does that relate to Emma's story and this whole capsule wardrobe thing?
Well, mindful consumption is about making conscious choices, like really thinking about what we buy and why we buy it.
Okay.
It's about shifting away from those impulse purchases and being more intentional.
So it's about quality over quantity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where the capsule wardrobe fits in perfectly.
I see, yeah.
It's about building a wardrobe that reflects your personal style, your needs,
Yeah.
not just chasing trends.
Okay, so tell me more about Emma's capsule wardrobe. Like, what kind of pieces did she keep?
So in the video, she shows us her closet, and it's full of these timeless pieces in a cohesive color palette.
Oh, nice.
Like lots of black and white, some warm creams, and a few pops of color, like maroon and olive green.
Very stylish.
Yeah.
So did she have to buy all new clothes to make this capsule wardrobe?
That's the cool part. She didn't have to start from scratch.
Go.
She just needed to let go of all the excess and rediscover the gems that were already hiding in her closet.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's like the decluttering process helped her uncover her true style.
Right. Because once she got rid of all the stuff she didn't need,
Mm.
what was left was the stuff she actually loved.
Exactly. And it's not just about the clothes, you know?
What do you mean?
It's about that mental shift, like
Yeah.
letting go of the need to constantly shop and compare yourself to others.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So how did she feel after making this change?
Yeah, good question.
Well, in the video, she talks about feeling this sense of peace and satisfaction with her clothes.
Wow, that's great.
No more decision fatigue, no more feeling pressured to keep up with the latest trends.
Like a weight lifted off her shoulders.
Exactly. It's about freedom, you know, freedom from all that stuff.
I love it. So it sounds like this whole process was about way more than just getting rid of clothes.
Right.
It was about like a deeper transformation.
Absolutely. And I think that's something a lot of people are searching for these days, you know?
Totally. Like we're becoming more aware of the impact of our choices, not just on ourselves, but on the environment.
Yeah, definitely. And it's about finding ways to live more consciously, more intentionally.
Okay, so let's say someone is listening to this and thinking, all right, I want to try this capsule wardrobe thing.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give them? Where do they start?
First of all, don't get too hung up on the rules, you know?
Okay.
Like, there's no one right way to do it.
Okay.
It's about figuring out what works for you,
Right.
your lifestyle, your personal style.
Okay.
And the most important thing is to be honest with yourself about what you love, what you actually wear.
I love that.
Yeah.
So it's not about deprivation. It's about like making choices that feel good.
Exactly.
That reflect who you are.
Right. It's about creating a wardrobe that supports the life you want to live, not one that weighs you down.
I'm so into this. You've totally inspired me to rethink my relationship with clothes and maybe even other areas of my life.
That's awesome. And that's the point, right? To question our assumptions and make choices that are aligned with our values and our vision for the future.
We've covered a lot of ground today, from fast fashion to capsule wardrobes and everything in between. What do you think is the most important thing we can learn from Emma's story?
That's a good question. I think the biggest takeaway is that less can be more, you know?
Yeah.
Like by intentionally curating our possessions, whether it's clothing or anything else, we create space for what truly matters.
So true. Yeah, it's wild, isn't it? Just getting rid of stuff and like feeling lighter. It's not just about the closet space, you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. And you know, it's funny because it makes you think, right? Could we apply this whole capsule idea to other parts of our lives too? Like beyond just clothes.
Interesting. What do you mean?
Well, think about it, like your phone, all those apps, do you really use all of them?
Okay, yeah, probably not.
Or your email inbox, all those newsletters you signed up for and never read.
Oh, tell me about it.
So maybe, you know, a capsule approach to digital stuff.
Yeah, like a digital declutter. I like that.
Right. Just keep what you really use and need. It's not just about things, though. It's like, what are you saying yes to? You know, all those commitments.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Sometimes I feel like I have to say yes to everything.
Right. But maybe a capsule approach to your time would help.
So like being more intentional about how I spend my time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pick what really matters, set some boundaries, learn to say no sometimes.
That's really good advice. I think a lot of people struggle with that.
I think so too, especially with the whole hustle culture thing, you know?
Yeah, like we have to be busy all the time to be successful.
Exactly. But this capsule idea, it's the opposite of that.
Yeah, it's about simplifying.
Yes. Simplifying, prioritizing, and really focusing on what's important to you.
I love that. This has been a great deep dive. Emma's journey is really making me think differently about a lot of things.
Me too. It's really inspiring, you know?
So for everyone listening, what do you think? What could you apply this capsule approach to in your own life?
It doesn't have to be clothes. Think about your time, your energy, your digital stuff. What could you simplify?
Awesome questions. And you know, if you're trying out this capsule approach, we'd love to hear about it. Share your experiences with us on social media. And of course, keep setting in your sources for future deep dives. We love getting to explore these ideas with you. Until next time.